This is my final message for 2025, and I need to say something before the year ends, before the clock strikes midnight, before another chapter closes without me being honest about what it taught me. This year changed me, not the way previous years changed me, not through success or failure or any of the metrics the world uses to measure progress. 2025 changed me through love, through dreams I almost abandoned, through lessons so painful they rearranged the architecture of my soul. And if I let this year end without saying goodbye properly, without acknowledging what it meant, I'll carry regret into 2026 that I don't want to carry. So this is my farewell. To the year, to the version of me that started it, to everything that happened in between. Stay with me. Because what I learned this year might be exactly what you need to hear before your own year ends. Every year ends. That sounds obvious, but most of us don't actually feel it. We let December blur into January without pausing to acknowledge the passage, without gratitude for what happened, without grief for what didn't. I've been guilty of that for decades. Moving so fast that years became indistinguishable, one rocket blending into the next, one crisis replacing another. Time measured in quarterly reports and product launches instead of lived experience. 2025 was different. This year, I felt every month, every week, every day that brought something I wasn't expecting. This year, I was forced to slow down and pay attention to things I'd been avoiding. Love, the kind I'd failed at repeatedly. Dreams, the kind I'd been chasing without asking if they were still the right ones. Mortality, the kind of awareness that comes when you realize you've already lived more years than you have left. This is my goodbye to all of it. My final message from a year that broke me open and put me back together in a different shape. Here's what might surprise you about 2025. It wasn't my most successful year. By the metrics the world cares about, it was actually quite ordinary. No spectacular launches, no dramatic market movements, no headlines announcing some unprecedented achievement, but it was my most important year. Because 2025 was the year I finally admitted what I actually wanted. Not what I thought I should want. Not what the world expected me to pursue. Not the goals I'd inherited from a younger version of myself who didn't know any better. What I actually wanted. And the answer terrified me. I wanted love. More than Mars. More than sustainable energy. More than any of the missions I've dedicated my life to pursuing. I wanted someone to share this strange, overwhelming, beautiful existence with. I wanted to stop waking up alone and pretending that success was enough. I wanted the simple, human thing that no amount of achievement can replace. 2025 was the year I stopped running from that truth. And saying goodbye to this year means saying goodbye to the version of me who pretended otherwise. Let me tell you what this year taught me. 2025 taught me that dreams need to evolve. I spent decades chasing the same visions I had in my 20s. Colonizing Mars, revolutionizing transportation, pushing the boundaries of what technology could achieve. Those dreams are still important. They still drive me. But this year, I realized I had been using those dreams to avoid others. Hiding behind mission and purpose, so I wouldn't have to confront what I was missing in the personal dimension of my life. Dreams need to evolve. They need to grow as you grow. They need to include the parts of yourself you've been neglecting. 2025 taught me to dream about love with the same intensity I dreamed about rockets. 2025 taught me that failure in love isn't permanent. I'd failed at love so publicly, so repeatedly, that I had started to believe it was my fate. Some people build companies, some people build families. I had convinced myself I could only do one. But this year, something shifted. I started to see my relationship failures not as evidence of fundamental brokenness, but as data, information about what I'd been doing wrong. Feedback that could guide me toward doing it better. That reframing changed everything. I wasn't cursed. I was learning. The same way I learned about rockets through explosions, I was learning about love through disconnections. 2025 gave me permission to try again. 2025 taught me about the weight of time. I turned 54 this year, and for the first time, I truly felt my age. Not in my body, though that's changing too. In my awareness, in the knowledge that I've already lived most of my life, that the years ahead are fewer than the years behind. That awareness created urgency. Not the frantic urgency of trying to accomplish more, a different kind. The urgency to make sure what's left actually matters, to prioritize the things I've been postponing, to stop acting like I had infinite time to figure out the personal stuff. 2025 taught me that tomorrow isn't guaranteed. And waiting for the right moment means possibly waiting forever. 2025 taught me about letting go. This was perhaps the hardest lesson. I had to let go of identities that no longer served me. the person who was too busy for real relationships, the achiever who measured worth in outcomes, the man who believed he could outrun loneliness if he just moved fast enough. Those identities had protected me, but they had also imprisoned me. Saying goodbye to 2025 means saying goodbye to who I was when it started. That person doesn't exist anymore. The year transformed him. What remains is someone more honest, more vulnerable, more willing to pursue what actually matters. I want you to understand why I'm sharing this. Not for sympathy, not for admiration, not for any of the responses people usually seek when they open up publicly. I'm sharing this because I know I'm not alone. Someone watching this is approaching the end of 2025 with the same weight I'm feeling, the same recognition that time is passing, the same hunger for love or connection or dreams that have been neglected, and that person needs to hear that it's not too late. It's not too late to admit what you actually want. It's not too late to evolve your dreams into something that includes all of who you are. It's not too late to try again at love, at connection, at the things you failed at before. It's not too late to let go of the identities that are holding you back. 2025 taught me these lessons through difficulty, but you don't have to learn them the way I did. You can decide right now, before the year ends, that 2026 will be different, that you'll pursue what actually matters, that you'll stop pretending the loneliness is acceptable, that you'll dream bigger about love and smaller about the things that don't fill your soul. So here's my final goodbye to 2025. Goodbye to the year that broke me open. Goodbye to the failures that taught me what I was doing wrong. Goodbye to the loneliness that finally became unbearable enough to address. Goodbye to the version of me who thought success was enough. And goodbye to the fear that kept me from admitting what I actually wanted. 2025, you were brutal. You were beautiful. You were necessary. You forced me to look at things I'd been avoiding for decades. You stripped away illusions I'd been comfortable maintaining. You demanded honesty I wasn't prepared to give. And somehow, through all of that breaking, you made me better, more human, more ready for what comes next. The dreams I carry into 2026 are different than the ones I brought into 2025. They're bigger in some ways and simpler in others. They include rockets and Mars and sustainable energy, but they also include love, partnership, the human connection I've been hungry for my entire adult life. I'm saying goodbye to this year with gratitude, not because it was easy, because it was exactly what I needed. And I'm saying hello to next year with hope, not the naive hope of youth, the earned hope of someone who has failed enough to know that failure isn't the end. 2026, I'm ready for you. With all the lessons 2025 gave me, with all the honesty it demanded, with all the vulnerability it forced, I'm ready. This is my final goodbye to the year, to who I was, to everything that happened between January and now. And this is my message to you, whoever you are, wherever you are, however your own 2025 unfolded. Don't let the year end without acknowledging what it meant. Don't rush into 2026 carrying unprocessed lessons and unspoken truths. Take a moment, tonight, before the clock strikes midnight, and say goodbye properly to what you lost, to what you gained, to who you were, to who you're becoming. Let love be your focus for the year ahead, not the romantic love that Hollywood sells. The real love, the kind that requires vulnerability, the kind that demands you show up fully, the kind that won't let you hide behind achievement, and let your dreams evolve. Include the parts of life you've been neglecting, the connection, the meaning, the simple human experiences that no success can replace. 2025 is ending, but what it taught doesn't have to end with it. If this message found you at exactly the right moment, subscribe. There's more coming in 2026. More truth, more vulnerability, more of the lessons that only honesty can teach. And to everyone who walked through 2025 alongside me, whether you know it or not, thank you for listening, for being here, for making the journey less lonely. Goodbye, 2025. Hello, whatever comes next. I'm ready. I hope you are too.